Honest, I'm a little bit surprised this made it through the veto process. We'll get into it though, as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is herO. We go. As we jump into our second best of 5, and welcome one and all to Frostline. Frostline is one of the more vetoed maps in this matchup. The reasoning for this is, as we did try to mention in the previous PvP, the third and fourth bases are very difficult to defend against all-ins. They're very difficult to defend against, they're very difficult to hold on to. We have seen many a Protoss player, including herO, attempt and struggle and fail to defend these fringe bases. Now, the reasoning for this, one, the map is somewhat large, that is true, so the rush distance by ground is a little bit longer, but these bases, the third and fourth base, are just so open. They're so accessible. You can see here 2 massive wide ramps coming into it. So imagine trying to force field, trying to get your own defensive concave going. It's difficult, if not impossible, to do so on certain locations on Frostline. Same even here towards the south side. Also a very large ramp, very wide ramp, very large entry point. Makes it easier for the aggressing player to get on top of the ramp, to get on top of the high ground, and to make use of their greater arc and concave onto the expansion. herO's solution to this has been to rely quite heavily on cannons and shield batteries. We have seen early on 3 and 4 bases just like a plethora of site defense thrown down for herO, but even then it's been difficult to survive and difficult to defend. Assuming that we can make it that far in the game, assuming that Solar does go for something like a 3-base all-in, doesn't have to move out early on, but he can move out off of 3-base saturation, 4th base just for larva, and we've seen a lot of success with that more aggressive style. herO, meanwhile, save the opener. We'll see if he does try to be aggressive himself. True. We shall see. Likewise, you can also push in through the center and wedge yourself in between all the bases as well. There's a lot of avenues of attack. We do have our tech of choice. It's going to be a Stargate opener out of herO. So nothing too crazy yet. Stargate opener into, I would imagine, an Oracle. Voider openers are also viable, so we'll keep an eye on herO. Based on the rally, should be the Oracle though, and with that Stargate finishing, we have our first unit of choice. There it is. Oracle is on the way. Oracle's in production. Double adept in between the bases. herO looking for a way in. Doesn't quite find it. Not yet. He pokes, he prods, he denies creep. It's all about maintaining map control and keeping an eye on the gases. Make sure that Solar isn't taking up in any kind of crazy direction. When it comes to Solar style, Solar, he's a lot more standard. He does go for all-ins, whether it's 2-base all-ins or 3-base all-ins, but he doesn't go for any kind of quirky tech or quirky styles. He can be aggressive, that's true, but even then, it's a little bit more vanilla. Out of all the other Korean Zerg players, Solar, he is the least aggressive, I would say, compared to Shin, Dark, Rogue. Solar a lot more Mac-oriented so far. Nice damage on the Oracle. Oracle takes a lot of hits. As the Oracle takes a lot of hull damage there. Does get 2 drones, but does take a lot of damage. Has to pull off, has to pull away. As herO does keep pushing in, going for a triple Oracle opener. Into his 3rd base, into Fortune Twilight Count, so there should be plus on a blink. So far, save the opener. Catching out the drone. Let's get a couple workers, 2 more drones going down. I mean, this is slowly adding up over time, so nice damage here from herO. Even supplied looking Solar. The depths are saved. And we're waiting for that tech of choice. As we do catch a lot of lings, actually. A lot of lings do full. Behind this, we have our tech of choice. Going to be an Evo Chamber. Early Evo Chamber leads into +1 melee. There it is. +1 melee is on the way. So this should be melee into Hydras. Looks like Solar is skipping roaches. And the question becomes, does Solar drone up his 4th? That's my big question. I mentioned before that 3 base all-ins are very trendy, very popular on Frostline, and they have been very effective as well. So we'll see if Solar does embrace that as well. For now, taking his gases, droning up. Lair is on the way. We do have our Baliness in production. With that lair, that should lead into a Hydra production. Running up at the same time as they shade in. They shade in, they get caught out. Nice surround here by Solar. He does punish those adepts. Meanwhile, here he is taking up. Going for his own Temple Archives. Taking his gases. This is going to be for Storm. Storm and Archons. Should be ideal against the Ling Hydra of Solar. Speaking of, Lair is just now finishing. Hydrogen can now be on the way. There it is. We have our take of choice. Now, Solar, he is droning up to 70, which is a solid drone count. And from here, he should now be focusing on purely Ling Hydra production. Now, the big signs of whether or not he's going to be taking is an infestation pit. So we'll keep our eyes open for the pit. Otherwise, he's just going to commit into Ling Hydra. Hydra range going to be on the way. +1 range as well. Stasis. Ooh, doesn't quite connect. It's only 1. herO going for his gateway explosion. He's building up his own forces. Throws down some cannons. We spoke about this, but that is herO's answer to the problem that is Frostline, is just a wall of cannons and shield batteries. Just rely a lot more heavily here on site defense. Otherwise, it's so difficult to hold on. Yep, cannons here at the natural as well. This is what you have to do. This is very specific to this map. On other maps, you can get away with skipping out, but yep, just more cannons, more shield batteries. Stasis traps as well. This may seem like a little bit overkill, but again, on Frostline, without this, you do not hold. Like, you do not survive. So we should be seeing cannons and shield batteries here as well, and we should just be fully turtling up. Speaking of turtling, Fleet Beacon's on the way for Skytoss, so herO, his intention is to be hyper defensive. Meanwhile, Solar does drone up to 77, a solid drone count, but do you see what I see? It's about what we don't see. What did I mention before? No infestation pit. No infestation pit, no hive. This is a lair tech all-in. Solar, he's maxing out, getting up to 200 supply of purely Lingbane Hydra on lair tech. This needs to do critical damage. If this doesn't, he will fall behind as he has no hive. Lings, they go for the High Templar. They get 1. Massive pickoff. Bailey's rolling in as well. Back down. Oh, 3 High Templar get caught out. Massive pickoffs. Yeah, here he'll lose 3 High Templar. That would have been 3 storms. And every storm is so crucial. And you can see that despite all this side defense, despite all these cannons, we can still push in between the bases. Again, that's also what makes Frostline so difficult, is you just have so many angles of attack, so many rotations for the aggressing player. I think Hydra starts stepping in, takes down 2 oracles. And here he's being broken. He's being broken. We have a couple of zoning storms. Here is in so much trouble. Bailings, they pill up. Oh, the cannons do defend. Cannons, they do their job. So our cannons are pulling this up. Mothership's on the way. Better storm towards the end. Better storm. Solar does rotate. Bailings towards the mineral line. There is a stasis. Does catch out the Bailings. Bailings are caught. herO, he's holding. Solar, he rotates towards the right side though. Ooh, gets into the mineral line. Storms are moving forward. Decent storms. Storms, mining is denied. The leagues are flooding in. No more storms, no more High Templar. Again, those Bailings earlier were brutal, and we have the better CranKy for Solar. Solar, he's doing it. Solar, he's doing it. He breaks the expansion, takes down the mineral line. And once again, we see a Protoss attempt and fail to defend on this map, on Frostline. It's a hard thing to do. It's very difficult. As Bailings, they bust into the mineral line. It's going to be 25 probes going down. And herO has been broken. He has been broken. Solar shuts down the 4th. Moving in towards the 3rd. High Templar are exposed. Oh, Bailey doesn't get them. Mothership has arrived. Let's go. With the Mothership, no detection. That's 0 detection. herO, he survives at least for now. But again, like, he lost so much in the process. In a sense, herO's all in. Like, herO, he cannot back off and recover from this point. But it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. If he goes back home, he's going to be overwhelmed. If he attacks, also going to be overwhelmed. Solar, he did do enough damage. Meanwhile, yo, shout out the password. Ga, papi, ga. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Bienvenidos. Hope you're doing well for yourself. Hope you're doing well. Things they poke in. Here he's holding on. He does have a 7 High Templar behind this. 6 even. Yeah, 7. Speaking of the High Templar, they're getting exposed. 1 High Templar goes down. Storm takes zone away. He's holding on to it. He's regaining control of his 4th. Okay. Yo, can herO recover? I mean, with all these storms, with the Mothership potentially, but Solar, he's already maxed. He's already maxed out. He's remaxed, I should say. You see him getting ready for a flank. Ling Bane coming in from behind. He wants those High Templar. Does roll in. Nice storms. High Templar, they survive. 1 Bailey connects. Ooh, another storm on the Hydras, and another. Yeah, storms, they just keep stacking. Another storm here on the main army. And Solar, he just takes the storms to the face. He breaks through. Hunts down the Mothership. He goes on top of the High Templar as well. And once again, it wasn't a pretty fight here for Solar, but he has broken the main force. Now only Stalkers remain. Oh, I say that. Solar, he's running out of steam. Running out of units. Yeah, he has 20 more Lings on the way. He's still waiting for his reinforcements, just rallying across the map. He's rallying across. That's herO. So every time we move in, somehow there's always like 3 High Templar. He's ready. He's got the storms. I mean, they help, don't get me wrong. But still not quite enough. Does catch the High Templar once again. Breaks through the main army. And there's only so much that herO can do. It was impressive that they survived this long, but GG gets called, and Solar, he takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. I'll be honest, I think I've seen a Protoss survive this kind of aggression on Frostline maybe once. I think I have, I was gonna say, technically I've seen herO win on Frostline, but I've seen him win with all-ins, like where herO goes like 8th gate all-in with a proxy across the map sort of thing. But trying to be defensive and trying to get into the mid-game, herO on Frostline is just, I mean, just to emphasize what we mentioned at the start of the game, just really difficult, just really, really difficult to pull off. Without your own counterattacks or aggression to try to buy time and force the Zerg player back home. It's just very difficult here on this map. And with that, Solar takes the lead. Solo does take lead, and now we are loading into our next game, loading into Abyssal Reef. Let's go. Here is dead Sag. I mean, again, Solo was favored on Frostline. Coming into Abyssal Reef, it is the opposite. The opposite is true. But now we're getting into our next game, into our next map, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Weibo Gaming down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. The series 1-0. Now, this is almost a polar opposite of Frostline. Where on Frostline, it is so difficult to defend your 3rd and 4th base. Here on Abyssal Reef, it is so easy to defend on 3, 4, and 5 bases. It's a really interesting map pool that we do have, where honestly the maps are so extreme that they do impact the game very heavily. The games and the maps and the the games and the builds and the play styles of players are kind of impacted by the maps quite heavily this season, just because of the extremes that we have, like Frostline, El Dorado, Abyssal Reef, Neon Violet Square, King's Cove. Like, all these maps have these more kind of extreme and obvious features that do dictate how we play things out. Now, coming to Abyssal Reef, again, just a very narrow choke point coming in towards the expansion, so very defendable here at the natural. Likewise, the 3rd base also very defendable. You can attack from the left-hand side, but it's a very awkward kind of attack path here towards that 3rd. The 4th base is protected by these rocks, by this weird kind of like snaking attack path as well. And because of this, you can quite easily take your 3rd base, take your 4th, and even take your 5th base. All 3 of these expansions are very centralized, very close to each other. Doesn't take long at all to rotate between them, to defend with them as well, and to max out. So very often we get the late game here on Abyssal Reef, as you can max out, you can cut the base in half, so you can cut the map in half, and embrace a longer game. Just to reiterate what we always say, the 6th base is more exposed, this base on the right or this base towards the left-hand side, so the 6th base can be more difficult to expand to, but that's in a late game scenario. And we might get there. We might get there. We'll see. But because this map is so defendable, I do favor herO. I do favor Protoss here on Abyssal Reef to be able to max out on Sky Toss and to be able to overwhelm their Zerg opponents. I'm curious to see how Solo will approach this. We have seen, speaking of late games, that is not what we're getting. herO, he opens up with a Twilight Council, so throw what I said out the window. I mean, it's applicable, yes, but not to this game, because I'm like, oh, you can defend on 3, 4, 5 bases, you can expand, you can turtle up, you can play Sky Toss. No. Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council opener out of herO. With this, we can go for one of 2 things, either glaives or DTs. Right now, my eyes are on the gases, and there it is. He pulls out a gas. He pulls out a gas. We have 2 workers in this gas. We have 2 in this, which means glaives. Glaives is going to be on the way here for herO, and there it is being researched. So this is going to be 4 Gate Glaive Adepts. This is not an all-in, but this is designed to give herO a lead and get economic damage across the map. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not too fond of this idea on Abyssal Reef. I mentioned before that this map has certain strengths, and I do like leaning into those strengths a little bit more so. I guess that's why herO is going for this. Because this map is known for being hyper-defensive and being very macro-oriented, his goal is to try to catch Solar being greedy. If Solar skips his Roach Warren, if Solar drones up too much, then herO can catch Solar with his pants down. So I imagine that's the rationale here for herO. Because the map is known for greed and known for cutting corners, may as well try to punish that greed. But the reality is that there's a reason why we see a lot of greed on this map, is because it is easier to defend. Likewise, Overlord does get in, Overlord gets a full scout. Does come from the Twilight Council. Does confirm. As herO does move out. And Solar back at home, he is trying to secure himself. Thankfully going for, I mean, he throws down the Roach one. He does see everything in the main, so he knows what's going on. Is setting up. Now setting up. Here it does expand. Did we go for the... Oh, sorry, my apologies. I assumed this was 4 gig glaives. My apologies. No robo. No robo, 3 gig glaives instead. This is a macro variation of this build, and I'm a little bit surprised to see herO do this. This is a build that was popularized among the European Protoss players. I want to say that Strange started this build, and then it kind of caught on amongst the other Protosses in Europe. This is a rare sight here for herO, though. Okay, let's go. Macro glaives. So my apologies. So basically, with 3 gateways without a robo, you can afford an expansion. Without the robo, you can afford a faster third base. So this is a much faster third than you would otherwise get in 4 gate glaives. Adepts are shaded into the main, but roaches are in position. Roaches are ready. Adepts are being targeted down. Down to 3, down to 2, down to 1, down to 0. And that was how many? That was 12 adepts for 6 drones. That was not worth it for herO. And now it's time to counterattack. And Solar, he is not droning. He's amassing lings, amassing roaches. He's going for a massive push across the map. And herO, he is in trouble. He is in trouble here. On the one hand, yes, this was a macro build. This was a more macro variation of glaives. But despite that, I mean, Solar just has so much to work with. And Solar, he's not droning. He's still not making any workers. He has 33 drones back at home. Adepts shade in. They kill the 1 drone. This is a sign. This is a tell. herO, he needs to recognize what's going on. He's like, hold up. Something's wrong. Like, hold up. Where are your workers? Where's your saturation? We have cannons and shield batteries finishing up. Lings coming from behind. They slip into the main. Not too many of them. But they are slipping in. As herO is buying time with those force fields. Very nicely done. At the same time, boys are being pulled. Probes are going down in the main. But only 2. Only 2 probe kills. Gateway goes down, but herO, he's holding. Yeah, he's holding on. Cleans up the lings. Oh, nice positioning. Denying mining time. Ravagers are available. Solar pushing in. Getting some of the cannons. First cannon goes down. And here, can he survive this? Does have a couple of immortals. Oh, PvZ connect. They get the final cannon. Mining still being denied. Ravager still here on the other side of the wall. They're trying to keep up. Trying to hold on. And he will chase down these Ravagers. He will hold. Okay. So here he survives for now, but what's important here, Solar, no drones. He's still not droning. He goes from the initial all-in into a second wave, into a second all-in. It's all or nothing for Solar. The longer this goes on, the better it is for herO. Solar, he wants to end it. Knocking down those rocks. He's going to be moving in. Can they break through this defensive line? He's pushing into 2 immortals. Sorry, 3 immortals even. 3 immortals. Prism as well. He can juggle back. He can reinforce. As they catch 1 adept. Yeah, and nice force fields here, locking down those Ravagers. While they do take down the sentries at least. Sentries do fall. Lings, they slip into the middle line. Probes are going down. herO getting pulled apart. This is nice damage, but we need more. So he needs more damage here. He gets 12 workers in the main. He's going to be forced back. Likewise, Immortals, they hold the line. They do hold, they do defend. Here he breaks out. Does break out. Mass Adept comes in to reinforce. Immortal Adept here out of herO, making use of what he has. And Solar's being overwhelmed. At this point, he's being overwhelmed. The all-in has failed. At least Solar's all-in, and now it's time for herO's counterattack. He has a greater economy, he has greater production. He can shade past the army. The Biles, ooh, they somewhat graze the army. Not bad. Immortal is going to go down, but here he's catching reinforcements. Does catch reinforcements instead. Lings are still in the main. They're still getting more damage. This is getting a little bit intense here as probes are falling left and right. Immortals are going down. Adepts are shading to the mineral lines, and GG gets called. It's just too much to handle, and herO will overwhelm. herO ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. As we do get into a tied series. Let's go. Again, herO, he did go for a build that I haven't seen herO do before. I have seen it from players like Skillus, MaxMax, Showtime, Geralt, even Strange. Again, a lot of the European Protosses, they do embrace 3-gate glaives, but less so the Koreans. So I'm happy to see herO spread his wings and does try out something different. Again, this was a macro glaive build. Again, you do only open up with 3 gateways. You do skip your robo, and you're able to afford a Nexus with it. So macro glaive adepts, Solar he went for the all-in, but alas, herO, he was all over it. It was a little bit shaky is what I will say. You know, Solar, he slipped into the bases, he got some economic damage. It was great to see Solar do some counter damage here against herO, but it wasn't enough. It was not enough to recover. With that, GG. We're getting into game number 3. Buenas noches, guapísimo, papi. Calm down. Este Murloc. De pollo, papi. De pollo? No de pato? Este Murloc. So here we go. We're getting into game number 3, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Blue Protoss player. The Blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming from South Korea, tying up the series. We'll see if we can take a lead. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. We go. As we load to another larger map, and I feel like I have to temper my words a little bit now, because I'm like, oh, you know, Abyssal Reef, known for macro, known for, you know, expanding and getting into a longer game state. That is not what herO did at all. Did subvert expectations there, and we'll see if he does it again as we load into another large map, another macro map. Here we go. Solar's going to be opening up Hatch Gas Pool, and we'll keep an eye on the tech of choice for herO. We'll keep an eye on him. Again, Amygdala, one of the larger maps, known for longer, later games as well, especially in this matchup. I say especially in this matchup. Depending on how herO expands, if he takes his 3rd base and if he takes his 4th, and if he expands towards his opponent, then we could see aggression. We could see something like an 8-gate 3-base all-in. herO, he has embraced that before and had success with it. We'll see what he goes for. As he does hide his pylon behind the natural. Not often a location you hide your tech. Interesting. As we hide our tech, a big shout to Cyan in the chat. Ga, papi, ga. Bom dia, papi, bom dia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Fala galera, obrigado. Thank you so much. I hope you had a great stream, had a great ladder session or cast. Do appreciate it. And welcome one and all, as we're opening up Twilight Council once again. Welcome to the OSC Season 12 Championship. We are nearing the end of the event. We're currently in the lower brackets. We're locked into a best of 5, and herO is popping off. Okay, so for the time being, he's staying in gas. If he pulls out, this should be glaives. If he stays in, it should be Dark Templar. Clearly, though, even if he does pull out, 4-gate glaives does not have to be the go-to. For the robo. And it's feeling like Dark Templar. It does feel like Dark Templar here, as here he does stay in the gases. Going for his Robo, going for his Gateway, and there it is. The Dark Shrine is thrown down. Now, from here, this is not an aggressive build, or I should say this is not an all-in. This is just to apply pressure early on, to move out with DTs, to threaten the bases, threaten the mineral lines, to then morph in Archons and go for Archon Harass alongside the Warp Prism and catch out Immortals, catch out Overlords. Now, herO, as I say that, that's what I would say in a standard PvZ, but herO, he actually has a unique style where he does warp in DTs, and he doesn't actually morph in any Archons. Instead, he parks his DTs in between the bases, he catches out drones, he catches queens, he denies reinforcements, he denies saturation, and he takes a different approach, typically. So we'll see if he does so this time again, to just rely a lot more heavily here on purely Dark Templar, instead of immediately morphing in those Archons and trying to catch out Overlords and Queens. Meanwhile, Solo once again does go for a safety Roach Warren. Roach Warren has been thrown down. Prism moves out, so Dark Shrine about to complete, and we are going for those DTs across the map. So he's ready for a counterattack. Alastair is a defensive force field. Here come those Dark Templar. There's no detection here at the expansion. Can he kill the third? Can he kill the base? We'll go for the queens. Let's go for the queens for a moment. There we go. Now goes to the expansion. We'll get one drone. Spore is repositioning, and with the repositioning of that Spore, we should be okay. Yeah, ZT is able to waddle away. 3 of them head towards that natural. Spore's out of position. Denies the backup Spore. And as I mentioned before, here, he's more willing to stay on DTs that much longer here. Getting to the mineral line. Picking up Warlings. Does trade well. Does escape. Goes back in with that Dark Templar. Chips away at the expansion. And now here come the Archons. That base is getting very low. It's getting low. Archons morph in. Zelts as well. herO going for an Archon, dropping the middle line, gets 2, 3, gets 3. Oh no! Oh my god, they're stacking up. They do stack? Jesus. Yeah, they stack up. Prism is going to be zoned back. Oh my god, but the drones, no, they stack once again. 12, 13 drones going down. Ay, ay, ay. Prism has to get the hell out of here, though. It barely survived. But that should not have happened. That one Archon popped off. That's going to be 14 kills in total. Drone kills, I mean, 23 Lings, 1 Spore, 1 Overlord. A very nice value here out of herO. And he races back home to defend. Lings, they get in though. The wall's not a wall. The wall is wide open. Oh, I say that. Nice force field on the ramp. But the sentries, oh my god, the sentries go down one after the other. Still brutal trade and brutal pickoffs. Ay, ay, ay. As Lings, they don't quite get many probe kills. They get 2. But Solo does gain some value. I would still say, though, here is still ahead. Like, sure, Solo, he killed 3 sentries, right? He killed 3 sentries. That is something. He killed 1 Archon as well. But, alas, that's not quite making up for 17 drone kills. Not yet. herO is still ahead. Still does enjoy Elite. There's still a lot of pressure on Solar. And we'll see if and when he does cut worker production. Well, as we do see here moving out. Oh, my apologies. Just had to open the door. But he just moves out. He just ends the game. My apologies. Just going to be opening the door here. But yes, herO, he does move out. He crippled the economy, and Solo just couldn't keep up. He just couldn't recover from that. GG, and herO takes a lead. GG. I do apologize. I was waiting for the end of that game. But GG, well played. herO, he does take a lead. He does advance, or he is looking to advance on into the next round. We'll see if he can. But again, he just did critical damage. It's one of those things where this early on in the game, losing that many drones, it was what, 17 in total, right? 17 drone kills. It was 16 to the harass and 1 drone early on. That is game ending. That is game ending damage. We saw that Solar, he was trying to re-drone, trying to resaturate. As a result, he had no army. He had no army. He was overwhelmed then and there, and now we're getting into our next game. Getting into our next game, we're going to be loading into ley lines. Let's go. And we'll see if a Solar can recover, or if this is the final game of the series. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have our South Green Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. As herO, he has taken a more aggressive approach so far in this series, has had a lot of success. Has been able to just overwhelm Solar time and time again. And the question becomes, do we go for another Twilight Council opener? We've seen it twice now so far. 2 games in a row. Does he do it again? Does he do it again as we load into ley lines? Ley lines is going to be a smaller map in the map pool compared to Amygdala, compared to Abyssal Reef. As a result, we do favor aggression here. Aggression is going to be favored. Probe scout into the main. Getting a full scout of what's going on before settling in. So eyes are on herO. So far, hatch gas full, standard opener out of Solar. Now, Solar has been on the back foot here, and he can be aggressive, but the problem is that herO's kind of beating him to that aggression. With these openers, Solar, he's been forced to respond time and time again, and the responses just have been lackluster. They have not been good enough. And we'll see if Solar can recover. I mean, I'm all for an ace match, right? I'm all for a game 5. Always, always. Give us a back and forth. Jesus, here's just being so annoying. Denying mining time. Pulling away. And with that, the Cyber Core is finishing. We have the pylon further back and behind the main. And this is looking like a Stargate opener here. I say that just because we're not going to be hiding the tech, and there it is, Stargate is on the way. Typically, if it's Twilight Council, we do hide the pylon further back to make it more difficult to scout. Not the case here, so Stargate. Stargate to Oracle, this time a much more standard opener out of herO, which means Solar can finally get into his game. He can finally drone, he can finally take a third base, he can finally embrace his game state and his build. He can play some StarCraft. Let's go. Can play some StarCraft. herO shades out across the map. Does thread in the shade. There's that first Oracle in the way. So far here, just poking in. And really, our eyes have to be on Solar now. Now that he's up against a standard opener, now Solar can spread his wings and go into his own build. We'll see if he throws down a Roach Warren. That's going to be the first big sign. Does he throw down a Roach Warren? Does he throw down an earlier Evo chamber instead? Does he take early gases? Does he cut worker production? Ooh, okay. Oracle into Void Ray. Interesting. Now with this Void Ray follow-up, this does mean that the Overlord's going to be hunted down. This Overlord here, alongside the others, they're going to be forced back. And herO might be hiding some tech. Oh. As the links are falling. herO shades into the mineral line. He gets a drone. He gets one. Not quite 2, but does deny mining time. Does Line Mining. Rotates over. Void Ray moves out. It is going to be a second Oracle, and so far we do not quite catch that Overlord. It is going to be an earlier Forge and Twilight Council out of herO. Now this earlier tech might be for +1 in charge, but I'm still leaning towards +1 in blink. herO, he does enjoy his blink based openers. So our eyes are on herO. Solar, he is supply blocked. Oof, as he did lose an Overlord. And he will lose another. As the Void Ray does turn around. Still looking for more damage. Still looking for more. 5-minute lair out of Solar. No Roach Warren. No Eva Chamber. Okay, there we go. Roach Warren's now on the way. No Eva Chamber, no +1 melee. 5 drones go down to the Oracles. Void Ray pulls away, as we did mention. It's going to be +1 and, ooh, +1 in charge. Much more aggressive this time. Much more aggressive from herO. Now, he is going for a charge timing. This is going to hit sooner. This is going to hit harder. Gateway Explosions on the way. And if Sola did skip Roaches, he'd be in trouble. Now, thankfully, he does have that Roach Warren, and he should be embracing Roach production with this, alongside +1 range. That's a lot of gateways, though. Oh my, he's not stopping. Oh my god. That's 7 gates on the way, in addition to the 2 that we already have, so it's going to be a 9-gate setup. It's a lot of gateways. Oracles, they rotate over. They got 3 drones already. Keeping Solar busy. There's that Roach speed. As one Oracle finally goes down. But herO, he is gearing up. He's gearing up for a massive push. And there's not really going to be much finesse to it either. Just mass Zealot Warp ins. And here they come. They're massing up in the main. They are getting ready. Now, is there a Robo? There is not. So there's no way to reinforce across the map. Bear that in mind. There's no Robo, there's no Warp Prism, there's no reinforcing gateway. Ooh, Solar, he's going Roach into Spire. I was curious as to why there was no upgrade. I was like, why is there no +1 range? What's going on? Intentionally so, we're preserving gas for Mew to play instead. Which means these Zealots are going to pop off. Do we have any Roaches? We have 9. 9 Roaches here to defend. They're across the map. They move out towards that 3rd base. There's a Void Ray to defend. The expansion's going to fall. Solar, he cannot save this. He's racing back home. But the hatchery does go down. And Solar's in trouble here. Now, with the help of the Queens and Transfuse, he should be able to defend the 3rd. But losing the 4th base is brutal, and that's still a lot of Zealots. Oh my god. Nice SimCity, well, nice positioning here behind the mineral line. Zealots, so many of them that no DPS. They just wasted damage here. Despite that, does catch a couple of reinforcements. Queens get surrounded, Roaches as well. But alas, Solar, he should be able to hold on. As I say that, though, more Roaches are falling. More Roaches are going down. But again, thankfully, delayed reinforcements. That's still another massive wave of Zealots, though. Still does arrive. Yeah, cleans up what little's left of the Queens. Gets some of the Ravagers. And behind this, double Stargate, Fleet Beacon into Skytoss. Skytoss is on the way. Solar holds. Solar does hold. Mutas are in production. Lings, they slip into the main. I mean, I say this somehow. It's herO. They slip into the main. They get into the main base of the Oracles. They race back in time. The Lings, they get 2 probe kills, 3 probe kills. The herO defense. This is why we always mention that a herO, he is known for leaving the wall open. That is true, but very rarely does he die because of it. Again, he's just so good at responding and reacting. He only lost 3 probes, minimal damage. Roach is a counterattack. herO, he has to respond. He catches out the Roaches though. Better trade for herO. And much better here. So many Roaches are going to fall. We have 2 Mutas getting across the map, but I should say, getting up to 5. Okay. Muta count is slowly building up. Meanwhile, Solar forced to make purely Roaches. herO overextends. He goes all the way across the map. And he does have to pull away with these Oracles at least. Never mind, he commits. He just commits in. He doesn't care. breaks through the defensive line, gets into the natural. Zealous, they trade well, they overwhelm the roaches. The mutas, they did get 15 probe kills across the map. Jesus. 15 probes, but despite that, herO, well, actually, can he hold on here? 16 probe kills. His economy does take a massive blow. Now building up his carrier, going into Phoenixes. Phoenix range, that's a big reaction here to mutas that don't exist anymore. Muta count was reset, we have Corruptors on the way instead. Phoenixes is not what herO wants, he wants Void Rays or just continued carry production. herO counterattacking. Yeah, again, a big misread here out of herO. He still see the Corruptors. Does he cancel the upgrades? Does he cancel the Phoenixes? So far, he's continuing. Does continue. I mean, for all he knows, it could still be more mutas. As he's making 3 Phoenixes at a time. And that's eating into his ground army as well. I mean, he has none. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, Phoenixes, I guess they can lift up the roaches one at a time. True. I mean, they will. Meanwhile, no shield battery. Yeah, no shield battery set up. Carrier goes down. And Solar, he's overwhelming. It was a great start here from herO. But this follow-up was lacking. Roaches, they break through. Remember, no Zealot reinforcements. herO, he was making mass Phoenix. And Phoenix, they don't help. They don't help against these roaches. And Solar catching herO with his pants down. Bust into the natural, bust into the main. And we are looking to force that ace match. Wow. Again, herO is stunned. Just tricked into going mass Phoenix. What can he do, Bappy? I mean, he can eventually lift everything, I suppose, but he's lost 24 probes. He barely has an economy. Pylon goes down. Roach is here in each base, in each mineral line. And this is getting out of hand. herO, he went up to 14 Phoenixes. That's crazy. That's insane. And he's out of energy. He just can't even lift everything. Back at home, do you see Solar responding with Mass Corruptor? And herO, does he have enough? With these queens with transfuse, no shot. No shot. The Phoenixes, they tickle the Corruptors. To tickle. herO, he tries to trade. But Solar's overwhelming. He's just overwhelming at this point. All he needs is more roaches. Shuts down the Phoenixes. Queen support. And herO's all in. herO at this point, he's completely all in. He's trying to end the game here and now. Does kite well against those Corruptors. But there's still just so much on the ground. The Stalkers are being overwhelmed. So the Phoenixes. And Solar, he's going to take this. He's going to shut this down. And again, herO just completely blindsided here. He was convinced it was going to be Mass Muta. GG gets called, and Solar, he ties it up. We are going to the ace match. Let's go. GG. herO, he was in such a good position as well. He was wreaking havoc, killing bases, crippling the roaches. But alas, seeing those what, 5 mutas, it triggers something within herO. He was like, no, I'm not gonna die to Mass Muta, not again. And he did die to his own response. Again, the Phoenixes, they just struggle against Corruptors in general. They struggle head-on in those fights. Likewise, defensively against Mass Roach, also they struggle as well. It was just the worst thing that herO could have made in that position. Just because he didn't know what was reinforcing, he just made an assumption and was caught with his pants down. GG, we're going all the way to Game 5. Let's go. We're going to Game 5. And I'm sure herO, once he saw those Corruptors and Roaches, I'm sure he was kicking himself as to his response. And now we're getting into the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends in Game 5. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming, being forced into the ace match. Can he bounce back? Can he recover? Can he claim the series? It is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And Solar able to find a way back into that game. The Spire and the Mutas were honestly the game-winning move for Solar because it did force an overreaction from herO. As herO, he went into adding on Pulse Crystals and triple Phoenix production away from Carrier. And with that, that was herO's downfall. Meanwhile, hello drone. What's going on? Solar, he does move out. I mean, welcome one and all to Romanticide once again. This is one of the older maps in the map pool, but we do feature an extended map pool, so Romanticide is an option here for our players. And Solar, he's going for the hatch block. He's going for the natural, going for the block into the expansion. Now, this is not an all-in, this is not hyper-aggression, this is to delay the bases of herO and to disrupt the opener. As herO, he stands his ground, he does not allow the hatchery to finish, and the drone is going to fall. herO will, oh my god, yeah, herO, he kills the drone. It kills the drone, takes the expansion. Stronger start for herO. Nicely done. Yes, herO, he was forced to bring a second probe down to the low ground, that is true, but killing the drone and denying the gas and denying the hatchery is all worth it. Back at home, Solar going hatch, gas, pool. Standard opener out of Solar. He's going to be the standard opener. Likewise, herO tasing away at the mineral line. He wants that drone. No shot. Oh my god. Almost gets it. Almost does get it. And from here, once again, we have a Stargate opener. 2 games in a row. Now, when it comes to Stargate play on Romanticide is one of the larger maps in that pool, is known for macro, known for longer games. If you recall, I was saying that on Abyssal Reef, and herO went for hyper-aggression anyway, and he forced an all-in out of Solar, but looks like this time we're getting into a more standard game state, and most likely, we will end up in the mid-game, and even in towards the late game. That is where the trajectory of the game so far, based on that Stargate. We'll see if that's the case. We'll see if either player does deviate. Keep an eye open here for Solar and for herO. So herO does poke in. Does poke forward. Trying to get a read here on Solar. Again, there's still no early tech. Solar still droning. herO just ensuring there's no early gases, no early lair. Make sure nothing crazy is going on. As herO does move out. And we'll see what herO can get done. Last game he was able to get, what, like 7 drone kills, even up to 9. Was kind of successful with his Oracle Harass. Here gets, oh, barely not a drone, forces out a gas geyser. Gets 1 worker in the main. Up, doesn't get 2. Barely does. Yeah, 2 drone kills, Oracle does back off. Is dead space behind the mineral line. Likewise, herO does have an extra Oracle in the way, so getting to double Oracle into his Twilight Council and Forge Blink-based follow-up. Everything looking stock standard by herO. For the first time in this series, we've seen a lot of aggression out of here, a lot of Twilight Council openers. Last game we had Charge, not even Blink first. But this is the most standard game we've seen so far out of herO. so far. As we do have extra gateways being thrown down. There it is. We do have Blink on the way. Blink at +1. Solar does get a safety Roach Warren. Doesn't cut corners. Not yet. We're moving in. He's got his 6 Adepts. He's got his 2 Oracles. Does shade towards that expansion. The Roaches aren't ready. Lings here are struggling. But there are plenty of Queens. Last hero is going for the mineral line. He gets 1, he gets 2. 3 drone kills. This is getting out of hand. He does cancel the shade. Oh, and more workers are falling. 7 drones going down. That is brutal. 7 drones for what? For 0. For nothing. Adepts say to survive, and they're not done. Nowhere near. But there we go. Lings, this time they're in position. Oracles come into support. Queens are still out of position. They're rotating over. Oh. Oracles will escape. But herO trades very efficiently. Checking the units lost tab. herO, he loses 6 Adepts for 32 Lings and 10 drones. That is crazy. And off of all that damage, it will not be, I mean, it'd be a wise choice here for herO to throw in extra gateways. For now, though, just probing. Probing, taking gases. Robo's on the way. herO, he's gearing up towards a longer game state. But he's not done with his aggression. Stalkers are moving out. Likewise, Oracle is here to support. And we'll see what here can get done. This Blink is finishing up in 10 seconds. Likewise, herO taking up in towards Colossus and charge. Based on overload speed, this looks like an all-in. Yeah, Solar, he's taking too much damage. Because that he is setting up for an all-in. He's cutting workers at 66, that is 3 base saturation. He's building up his Queen count, his Roach count, and with overlord speed, he's going for a Drop Lords. He's going for a German Taxi. Again, is one of the only options for Solar. The other option would be to be hyper greedy, to double expand and to drone up as heavily as possible. But Solar, he's opted to go for the aggressive response instead. But Stalkers are keeping the army busy already. Catching out tumors. Trading with the Roaches. Solar wants to move up, but he's stuck at home. There's the recall. Lings, they sip into the main once again. Solar's been so good at this. Does force the recall, and that means Solar, he can commit. Here we go. The Drop Lords are on the way. Solar, he has not made a drone in quite some time. No saturation at the 4th base, no hydrogen, no infestation bit. It's just purely an all-in from Solar. herO is trying to slow him down. Trying to. Picks away at the army. Attempts to delay the push. Solar, he's just committing. Does just commit. Oh, hatching out a couple of Overlords. Overlords do full. Solar gets supply blocked. herO still needs a little bit more time. Oh, Stasis goes off and gets baited though. Yeah, they are baited by the Lings. No major connections. Ooh, but Solar, he knows he can't do it. Yeah, infestation bit. He does falter. Oh my god, pass don't connect. But this pit is a sign that Solar doesn't believe in his all-in. So he's transitioning out of this. He's trying to, I should say, but it's late. It's going to be a late pit. It's going to be a late hive. Solar, you can see 6 drones in the production tab. Oh, and he will lose everything here. Yeah, the Ravages are falling. Biles, they do connect. Oh my god, the Biles connect. Not bad. Biles do connect. Solar, he's getting ground. He will knock down the expansion. And Solar, he will get the hell out of here. Again, Solar, he already made some workers. He killed the expansion. Now he backs off. Now it's time for herO to punish. Oh god. And we'll shave off those Roaches. Solar falling back. Does defend. herO embracing more disruptors. And herO does have pushing power. The soup does lie. Solar, he's up in supply, but he has a worse army. So herO has the advantage. These are Colossus, Stalkers, Disruptors. It's a very cost-efficient army here. Solar setting up for a Ling run by. Nova goes up. Ooh, brutal connection. Nova does connect. Again, Roach Ravager struggles splitting against these Novas. So this is where Disruptors can thrive. herO moving forward. So again, he's got those two Novas ready. Roach, they try to catch some reinforcements. herO does pull away. He is distracted. There we go. Does catch him out though. Forces back the Roaches, cleans up all the Lings. And Solar is maxed out. With that Hive, he's got Vipers on the way. But he needs time. He needs more time for the Vipers to gather energy. Nova goes up. Ooh, brutal connection. Once again, Novas, they can shut down Roaches so well. There's another Nova. Takes down the Queens. They rally forward. Bailey, they crash into those Stalkers. But Bailey's, they don't quite trade well against Stalkers. herO, he's done it. He breaks through the defensive line. Again, herO, he's had a massive lead ever since the failed all-in, and GG gets called. herO, he will claim the series 3-2, knocking Solar out of the tournament. GG. GG, well played. herO had a very strong start. As a reminder, herO, he crippled the economy of Solar early on. That is one of the big reasons why Solar did decide to all-in, as he did fall behind. And unfortunately, Solar, it took him too long to get across the map. Solar, he did have to transition out of it. And in doing so, there was an opening, there was a weakness there, and herO snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. herO, he will play the series, and with that, we have our lower bracket matches wrapping up. Solar is out of the tournament. Likewise, so is Geralt. Geralt and Solar, they're both out. herO and Skillus advance on. They advance on into that next round. Just catching up. herO 3-2 over Solar. With that, that is our lower bracket round 6 matches completing and concluding, and we are somewhat halfway through the bracket because now we have the upper bracket round 5 or semifinals up ahead of us. Let's go. Let us go as we do switch on over, and there it is. We have now a break from the PvPs and PvZs. We have Terran versus Protoss and Terran versus Zerg. We have Beyond versus MaxPax and Clem versus Dark. These are the 4 players in the upper bracket semifinals. They have yet to drop a series, yet to drop any overall best ofs so far. And that is what's coming up next on the channel. Let's go. We're going to be kicking things off with Beyond versus MaxPax. Again, MaxPax, he has been on a tear as of late, even threatening Clem at times. Likewise, Clem is still the best player in the world, and it's not going to be an easy one for Dark. As always, though, I do appreciate casting Dark. We don't have many Dark matches remaining, just because Dark, of course, he is soon going to be going to the military, so Dark has been less active in online tournaments, which is why I do want to broadcast him as much as I can, and he's still here in the OSC Season 12 Championship, so we'll see how he does perform against Clem. Again, some brutal matches ahead of us. For now, though, we are, again, halfway through the broadcast, so we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have these 2 best of 5s ready for us. Oh boy, it's going to be amazing, going to be beautiful. We'll see you guys after the break. See you soon.